Hey there everyone, my name is Visteria Lukwi and today I'm gonna talk about one of the things that most artists encounter probably on a daily occasion, or at least if they offer commissions. The torn feeling between I need the money and fuck no, this is disgusting. Before we start to talk about that specifically, let's take a look at what made me make this video, because it does come from a personal experience. So gather around my little minions, it's story time. A tale of a girl and a pedophile apologistic monster. So, around November 13th, a pedophile was outed by the name of Purpleflix. He had come to Rusa, admitted everything he had done, which was erotic roleplay with 14 to 16 years olds, and also sending nude pictures to them while he was several years older than those minors. He admitted all of this himself, no doubt, to anything. So, because this was a fairly popular brony artist, I decided to share that tweet thread in my own Discord server. The few first reactions I got were a bit disappointing, really. There were some people that were defending him, but they hadn't yet read the whole thread. After I gave the whole explanation and a stern warning that I didn't allow any sort of pedo defending in my server, those people agreed and apologized for their behavior. But there was one person that kept on making excuses for Purple, saying that the age of consent was different, that he grew up with it being normal, etc, etc. Yeah, it was stating facts, quote unquote, but they were facts that were in defense of a pedophile that already admitted that what he did was wrong, so it didn't matter. Plus, in most cases, especially international, it's the victim that's important, so it's the victim's country's age of consent that counts. Which was the USA in this case, and there it's 16 to 18 or even older depending on which state. So, as you see, I gave him an ultimatum. Not proud of it, but I did. Either he stopped making apologies or excuses for an admitted pedophile, or I'd be forced to ban him. And after this answer that he gave me, it was an easy choice. Quote, and I will say this in all honesty spoken, if you ban me just for pointing out some facts, even if they turned out wrong, it just shows that you never were my friend anyway because you don't know me at all. There is a difference between making up excuses and stating some simple facts, and just because you don't like facts doesn't mean someone protects a pedo. Also would show that you would easily stab anyone in the back that doesn't kiss your ass. Right now, the only thing that has something to lose here would be the Miss Dictator that can't do civil talking because she has no grip on her emotions and only wants to see her own truth. Also, just saying I generally hate people that turn naming facts into you are defending him, because that's simply wrong. Now, this dude, Phoenix Mask, was a patron of mine, actually one of my first patrons. I'd been making a lot of art for him, just gonna throw this out so the subject is gonna stay on point. The standard parts will be talked about later in the story. So, was the end of the month, so I finished his Patreon reward, and then I went and blocked him on every piece of social media I could. I then proceeded to make a call-out thread talking about the fact that I don't allow any kind of pedo apologists in my server or near me. Now, notice that I did block out his name the first time around. It's because I wanted to give him a small ounce of anonymity. Let's just say that the dude ain't all too smart and he proceeded to out himself in the replies and, well, let's just say that the battle was on. He was saying I was lying, and I don't take too kindly of those that say that, especially if I have the proof. By the by, every screenshot is gonna be in the Google Drive link below in the description, because there are a lot, and I don't think I'm gonna show every one of them, or read them out aloud. So, the first part was him going on this weird tangent of specifying the difference between the terms pedophile, hepophile, and ephebophile, aka the difference between being attracted to legal minors, being attracted to legal minors, and legal minors. In short, it doesn't matter if the victim is 5 or 12 or 16, the act that Purpleflix committed is still illegal because he did it to legal minors, aka anyone under the age of consent in the United States. I was also told that those terms are medical and have nothing to do with the legality of it all. In court, you would just be a child molester or abuser or groomer, and the age would only matter for the punishment they give you. And then there was the beautiful excuse of, it was only online roleplay. It was with a fictional character. It's not like he was gonna have actual sex with the minors. And when someone pointed out that he could easily come to the US there was this wonderful little tidbit of stereotypical racism. Can't go any lower than that, I guess. But, well, apparently he can go lower. Even as I was typing this and recording this, he went and deleted all the tweets I've collected in that Google Drive. Good thing I screenshotted them. He changed up his whole Twitter and he went protected mode. How fucking much of a coward can you be? And then he started spamming me on Skype as recent as of today, December 17th, as I'm typing this. He has gone so far in his belief of pedo defending that he even thinks that a court will judge you if you dare to call someone what they are. How stupid can you possibly be? I've asked him for a court case where that actually happened, but the answer I got from him was a Medium article, once again talking about the terms, but not what I asked. All this defending and nitpicking had me thinking about all the art that he had been commissioning me. And I came to a quite frightful and disgusting revelation. Thinking back now, I am so disappointed in myself for ever agreeing to doing those. First case, there's this main OC called Ruby, which at one night fallen in love with Princess Luna. Princess Luna, the over 1,000-year-old alicorn, and Ruby, who was a teenager at the time. See what I'm getting at? He made me draw them kissing, cuddling, and etc, etc. But I always made sure that the naughty stuff was always done with her adult design. Now, Phoenix will try to argue that Ruby is a shape-shifting phoenix that has gone through a few lifetimes already, but there are a few holes in this theory though. First one would be that I always asked if it was teen or adult, which was made sure of with the inclusion of the cutie mark, which he himself said that she only got when she was an adult. Second would be that if she had gone through so many lifetimes, why did the first time that she met Luna she still had a mom and a fullhood, childhood and puberty and always seemed to act like that age? Doesn't add up, my buddy old pal. It's only after she died the first time, she got her cutie mark, and the multiple times he made me draw her dead, she was always reborn in her teenage state. At this point, we already established the teenage and adult design. I made the adult design in April 2016. He made me draw a rebirth scene from adult to teenager later in April 2016, and we designed the cutie mark October 2016. That's why she didn't have the mark yet with that rebirth scene, but that was the only time she didn't. After that, she always had her cutie mark after her rebirth. Now, notice how he commissioned a nude teenage Ruby, notice the design of the main, in September 2016, way after we decided on an adult design. And he might say, oh, she was just reborn, she doesn't know her cutie mark yet, and she's an adult in that one. Like I said, we established the adult design, and that she doesn't have her cutie mark in the teen design, and blah 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 blah. I'm gonna just stop, because I'm starting to sound like a broken record. You get what I'm saying? We established enough things to make it a consistent thing, and just now he decided to be specific about it, right after I pointed out how weird and creepy his shipping is. And after he was so adamant about differentiating the terms, a lot of focus on that Hebefile one too. Just saying. And then the second subject he always made me draw, which is even more disturbing. There's this storyline he was making me draw where his adult OC found a small orphan child in the woods, abandoned and alone. First one was her almost being eaten by a wolf. The second was him feeding her and keeping her warm. And the third was her taking a bath. But this wasn't his first idea, no. He wanted to have something akin to a Japanese bathhouse. So, his adult OC, who was basically a stranger to this child, was gonna take her to a public bathhouse, to one of the private rooms, and then they'd both be naked and he'd be washing her. Because those aren't like 1,000 million red flags. I know when he came to me with that idea, I immediately said no. That was just too creepy and I wasn't at all gonna draw a child naked. Hell, with the reworked idea, I was still uncomfortable and the bathtub was covering most of her. But that's not the weirdest or creepiest part. No. There was something after that which was even creepier. Because the child seemed devoid of emotions in Phoenix's story, he thought it'd be a wonderful idea to have the adult link his emotions to the child. And the seal of that link would be underneath her belly button. And to top it all off, because why not, this OC, when she grows up, turns into a succubus. The female demons that get their energy from getting it on, if you know what I mean. When I brought all this up on Twitter, Phoenix made a lot of excuses for them, but all of them were they made it worse in my opinion. So then he proceeded to fake post, crop stuff out and whatnot, and then came the hiding of evidence part. There was the failed reportings of my tweets, copyright takedowns of his body, narrow Nemesis 1 that made that commission for him. The aforementioned picture is an edited version because 1. Ruby, the teenager, is naked in this picture, and 2. Fair use. Then there's also the polls and status updates that Phoenix made, which you will see on his DeviantArt page, are gone now. And last but not least, he took my initial call-out journal down. And of course, the aforementioned tweet deleting and protecting of his account, because that won't prove me right at all. Oh, and as a little cherry on top of the R-word Sunday, the Discord server he owns in the team of Lunaland, a popular comic from the Double W brothers, where he abused his mod and admin powers a lot in the aftermath of his ban from my server. If you would go into the Discord now, you would find that channel completely cleaned out. Some of my favorite excerpts were him calling me bitch, whore, and everything shiny in the insult book. Best part was him saying that he could sue me because we're both in the European Union. I so want to see him try to do that. Now, at first I was gonna make this video with the Phoenix situation as a small example, but him trying to hide the evidence and such, I decided that he could have his very own spotlight in this video about commissions and standards. And without further ado, here comes the sappy part. Artists. And I'm not only directing this to graphic design or illustration, I'm directing this to all kinds of content creators that accept commissions, aka paid work. I know that it's hard when commissions are the only income you have, and that's what you need to survive your month or even week. I'm lucky to have a full-time job where I can pay my rent and food and everything, but some people just aren't that lucky. There is no shame in having standards and morals. I know plenty of artists that throw those away just to have another penny or dime, but by God, it shouldn't be that way. If you don't want to draw that fetish or that kink, then don't. Have respect for yourself and your talents and your skills because you are worth it. When I suddenly realized how disgusting, creepy, weird and bizarre his commission requests were, I was ashamed of myself. I was ashamed that I let myself sink that deep and didn't have any second thought in drawing those things. What I should do is delete those images really, but I'm not going to. For one, because they will be constant reminders of what not to do, and second, because I'm ashamed to admit it, actually proud of those pieces. The efforts and such that I put into them. I mean, this was the first time I ever drew a wolf, and it turned out okay. Yeah, I'm not proud of the content, but proud of the skill I put into it. So please, don't be afraid to say no. Don't be afraid to refuse a customer if they ask you to draw something that goes against your morals or your standards. Yes, you will lose the money, but you will also win other customers that see the amount of self-respect you have. They will see an artist that stands for themselves, and there's nothing more beautiful in my eyes than that. Have self-respect, have self-worth, have self-confidence. You and only you decide what you can and cannot draw, and no amount of money should have to change that. And with that, I bid you farewell and au revoir and een goeie dag to you. Be sure to subscribe for future content, hit that bell icon for immediate notifications, and don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. I'm Wisteria, thanks for watching.